What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Ace. Today I'm going to be checking out a new video by a recommendation someone commented in the comment section. It says, "Hey Ace, if you ever have some time, can you please do SWAGKAGE Pain versus Sasuke?" I checked out the video. It's super long. I'm not doing that. Or Itachi versus Obito. Itachi versus Obito was the shorter of the two videos. Not by that much, but I guess it's short enough. So I'll check that one out. Even though I already know the answer, I haven't seen this video, but I know the answer in my mind. Obito's clapping Itachi every time. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I know a lot of people love Itachi because if you've ever been on TikTok, on the Naruto side of TikTok, people are always... Oh, man, there's so much debate about everything. By the way, if you guys are not following me on TikTok, follow me on TikTok. I post a bunch of anime and Naruto content there. It's pretty good. It's the same as my YouTube, Rinnegan, so make sure you check me out there. But yeah, we're going to check out SWAGKAGE Obito versus Itachi. Shout out to you, Tsunami World, for commenting. If you guys want any other videos, make sure you comment down in the comment section. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, trigger those bells, and let's get into the video.
Other Uchiha battle after I said I was gonna try to avoid those. I really did mean it when I said it, but, well, it seems like a lot of you have been very vocal about the fact that you've grown pretty tired of the Uchiha battles. Another sizable portion of my audience wouldn't leave me alone about doing Itachi versus Obito. I couldn't escape the numerous, plentiful comments on all of my recent Versus videos asking me to do this battle in particular, and so I was like, ah, fuck, I'm in a bit of a pickle, aren't I? So because of the overwhelming popular demand, I'm gonna make an exception here. And look, to those of you who are super anti-Uchiha, I'm sorry, but come on, give me a break. Anyway, as for how I'm gonna be handling this video, so I'm not going to talk about the abilities.
Yeah, man, you just gotta do what the fans want. If they want more Uchiha stuff, you gotta add more Uchiha stuff.
I've already discussed Itachi on numerous occasions, but when it comes to the Obito variants that I just think thoroughly thrash Itachi, I don't think there's much of a point in extensively discussing what they're capable of, because I can make my points about how I think Itachi fares against them pretty quickly. On another note, unlike my previous Versus battle videos where I started with the earlier incarnations of the characters and progressed to their later forms, I'm going to be doing the opposite here, where I start with the latest versions of Obito, then compare them to both versions of Itachi, living and Edo Tensei, obviously separately, not together at once, and then move on to the version that preceded it. That way I can get a lot of the more obvious matchups out of the way quickly, since Itachi doesn't really fare too well against the more powerful versions of Obito. So anyway, now that I've made all of that clear, let's just jump right into the battle and start out with round one, Itachi versus Jubito. Now look, this is
Jubito?
Mean, okay, Itachi is hopelessly outmatched against Jubito here, and honestly, I don't even want to talk about this battle because I just feel like a bully. But surprisingly, I found enough instances of some pretty disgusting Itachi wank from people who claim that he can in fact beat Jubito throughout my time on the internet to let me know that this actually is an issue.
Bro, this is crazy. If you ever go on well, I mean, I don't know where everyone checks their internet sources and all that. Not sources, but like for their content. Like there's Naruto Facebook groups, there's forums, there's comments on YouTube. I go on TikTok a lot, so there's always TikTok videos. There's people going like, Itachi can clap Madara, Itachi can beat Edo Tensei Nagato. Like, my guy, there's people wanking this dude. And I love Itachi. Itachi's a GOAT. I posted a video of him on my TikTok. Go check it out. I like him. I really like him, but there's a certain time where you can wank. Like, there's so much you can praise him for.
Worth discussing, apparently. So I guess I'll go over this battle for just a little bit and explain why Itachi has absolutely no chance of victory here. Now, what I'm about to say is pretty obvious. Anybody who spends even a little bit of time dabbling in Naruto versus battles is well aware of this, and that is that in a battle like this, Itachi's greatest asset is the Yata Mirror, right? Like, with it, he can supposedly deflect anything. That's pretty well established throughout the Naruto community. But one thing that isn't quite as well known is the reason why the Yata Mirror is supposedly an impenetrable shield is because it is composed of every nature transformation, and it can adapt to any situation that its wielder finds themselves in by applying the traits of different natures to itself in order to counteract the traits of any physical or spiritual attack it comes into contact with. So basically, it's so strong because it's composed of every nature at once, right? Now, this should sound
the more you know.
familiar to
SWAGKAGE teaching us, man. I didn't know.
Another thing in the Naruto world that that is also composed of every nature at once. And that would be
Jubito.
the truth-seeking orbs, or the truth-seeking balls, whatever you want to call them. The Gudodama. One of the key parts of Jubito's arsenal, as a matter of fact. And so common sense would dictate that because the Gudodama possessed the trait supposedly responsible for the Yadamir's impenetrability, Jubito would be able to use the truth-seeking orbs to counteract it, right? So all Jubito would have to do is create a sufficiently powerful attack using his truth-seeking orbs.
Also, in the war arc, it's stated that he has the ability to nullify any jutsu at all. Every jutsu except for Sage Mode. I think the second said it, or the fourth Hokage said it.
They can be countered with senjutsu. Now, I'm not saying that this is 100% fact or anything. It's never been confirmed, but it stands to reason that senjutsu would also be capable of dealing with Itachi's Yadamir, right? And granted, that doesn't mean that senjutsu attacks automatically obliterate any attacks with composition similar to that of the truth-seeking balls. For instance, using a truth-seeking orb shield, Obito was able to block a senjutsu-enhanced tailed beast bomb along with a senjutsu-enhanced Susanoo arrow at the same time.
Hold on, I have a theory. So, what Swag's talking about here, this is just me doing my own headcanon. Jubito was able to be stopped, or his jutsu was able to be stopped by Sage Jutsu, or nullified, and Taijutsu. Only Sage Jutsu and Taijutsu works. I don't know enough about the Yadamir. I'm just learning about it now. I just know it was brought up once in the fight versus Sasuke, and I barely watched it. So many years ago. I haven't watched it more than once. But if Sage Jutsu can go against the five... I don't know what he called Jubito's ability, but I know what it is, like, in my head. You know, the True Physique orbs and all that. If Sage Mode can go against that, and Taijutsu can go against that, I imagine that Taijutsu could be a good offense against the Yadamir. I imagine.
But if you look closely at the manga panel he does this in, you can see pretty clearly that his shield started to take a little bit of damage. And again, its composition should be identical to that of the Yadamir's, meaning that when put up against Senjutsu, the Yadamir is not invincible. And since Obito, after becoming the Jinchuriki of the Tin Tails, was given far and away the strongest form of Sage Mode in the entire series, it's very easy to argue that he'd be able to break through Itachi's Yadamir, either using a Senjutsu attack or using the Truth-Seeking Balls. You can even combine both of these arguments at once and say that not only is Itachi's Yadamir weak to Senjutsu, it's also susceptible to damage from the Truth-Seeking Balls, as they're both composed of the same thing, and Jubito is obviously way stronger than Itachi is, so he shouldn't have too much trouble breaking through what should otherwise be a pretty standard shield. And that's it. That's really all Itachi has is the Yadamir, so doesn't really look like he's gonna be able to do anything to Jubito. Yeah, he has the Totsuka Blade, which he can use for an insta-kill here, but so fucking what? If Obito fires a Jubi Blast at Itachi, you think he's just gonna survive that? Absolutely not. And his Edo Tensei regeneration powers aren't even a factor in this battle because the Truth-Seeking Balls nullify those. So living or dead, Itachi gets washed. Now, even if he can't break through the Yadamir, it's not like the thing is omnidirectional. So if Obito goes with 4 Crimson Ray formation Biju Bomb, the attack that he used to nearly single-handedly wipe out the entirety of the allied shinobi forces, Itachi's fucked. End of story. Obito takes this round negative difficulty. So next up we have White Mask Obito with the Rinnegan, the Mangekyo Sharingan, and 6 Jinchuriki at his disposal that he can transform into tailed beasts at will. And now, look, this is also a pretty horrific mismatch in Obito's favor. Alright, you've got Itachi, who already has some pretty bad stamina issues, going up against this guy who has the Rinnegan, the ability to phase through any attack, and 6 tailed beasts at his disposal at full power, all of whom he shares vision with. So there's no fucking way Itachi's gonna catch Obito lacking in this battle, because his field of vision is practically infinite here. He can phase through attacks, as I've already said. The only reason he took any damage at all in the fight against Naruto B, Kakashi, and Guy is because Kakashi was there and he was able to counter Obito's Kamui with his own Kamui. Of course, Itachi does not have that luxury. He's stuck with plain old Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi. And look, Obito's not stupid. He's not a complete fucking buffoon. He knows better than to look Itachi in the eye. Like, come on, Tsukuyomi, it's not landing on Obito. And even if it does, the series has made it clear that it can be broken out of by a fellow Uchiha. By an Uchiha much less experienced with Genjutsu than Obito, as a matter of fact. Sasuke. Now, you can make the argument that Itachi let Sasuke break out of Tsukuyomi during their fight, which is perfectly reasonable, but Itachi's also flat out said that the only way to counter Tsukuyomi is with another Mangekyo Sharingan, so I don't think I'm making
yeah.
humongous logical leap.
I think it was, and I don't know if he meant it for real. I would imagine so. But back in the original Naruto, the OG Naruto, when Itachi and Kisame invade the village, he tells Kakashi, he's like, you don't have the stamina that you can copy from us. You can copy our eyes and moves, but you can't physically copy our stamina because the eye is not originally yours. The only way to stop me, because I think he was going to do Genjutsu at the moment, he's like, the only way to stop me is to possess a Kekkei Genkai and a Sharingan. A Mangekyo Sharingan, I think it was, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, this proves it.
Leap by saying that Obito would be able to resist it even if he was caught in it. But again, that's a big if, because he'll probably just avoid looking Itachi in the eye for the entire fight in order to
probably just press him with all the other pains or the other
Now,
paths.
another pretty cool part of Itachi's arsenal that you might think is pretty bad news for Obito is Ephemeral, the finger genjutsu that he cast on Naruto, but this is a complete non-issue. A lot of people bring this up and act as though it makes Itachi some untouchable god because it can affect people with genjutsu without even looking at them. But look, Naruto, who has no genjutsu talent whatsoever, was able to break out of it after a bit of struggling, of course, but he was still able to break free. And Obito is no genjutsu slouch. Like, his skill with genjutsu
I think he needed
is fucking light years
his
ahead
friend's
of
help,
Naruto's.
Sakura
there aren't a
and
whole
Lady
lot of
Chiyo.
genjutsu feats for him in the manga, but one that's pretty big is the fact that he was able to mind control Yagura, a perfect Jinchuriki, using genjutsu, and B was like fucking flat out convinced that genjutsu could not affect Jinchuriki at all. So I don't know, man. Obito seems pretty good on the genjutsu front to me. I'm pretty sure Itachi's not.
And he was able to control the Nine Tails when he first attacked the village. So his genjutsu is no joke, absolutely no joke. And he put what are those two ninjas? Ambu's like lackeys, the dogs. You know when he fought the Ambu, I can't remember their name. I'll post a picture somewhere here. When he fought them and he sucked them into his time space, he put them both under genjutsu until later when he decided to kill them for like to show how the reanimation works.
Not getting him with Ephemeral or Tsukuyomi, so let's take those off the table. At the very least, they're not going to wipe Obito out immediately, right? I think that's fair. So ninjutsu's completely worthless against him because not only can he phase through it, but he can also presumably absorb it. Now, Obito never used the abilities of the Rinnegan, but he made it pretty clear that he still can. Kakashi was like, he's probably not doing it because we already know how to counter them because we fought Pain and, you know, it take up a whole lot of chakra. And Obito was like, precisely, that is exactly why Kakashi. Good on you, you're quite observant. And Taijutsu is also a pretty horrible idea, because again, Obito can phase through any of Itachi's attacks, and up close, like, rest in peace if you're fighting against this dude in close quarters combat. Obito can either suck Itachi into the Kamui dimension and just leave him there forever, or he can use the human path of the Rinnegan to rip out Itachi's soul. And that's without even mentioning the fact that there are 6 fucking Biju running around the battlefield for Itachi to deal with at the same time. Like, it's just not fair to him at all here. Once again, he gets thoroughly stomped, so round 2 goes to Obito. Round 3 would be Rinnegan Obito without his mask and without control of the tailed beasts after the reanimation jutsu was released by Kabuto. And I mean, like, just because he doesn't have the Biju doesn't mean Itachi suddenly gets the win here. Obito can still phase through all of Itachi's attacks, absorb, like, every single one of the points that I brought up previously applies here. Obito just can't apply the added pressure that he could with a Biju in this fight. He can still close in on Itachi, suck him into Kamui forever, or rip out his soul, and GG. So round 3 also goes to Obito. Now, whether Itachi is Edo or alive doesn't really matter in these first 3 scenarios, because no matter what, he gets stomped. In Jubito's case, the truth-seeking balls nullify Itachi's regen, and in Rinnegan Obito's case, the fact that he can just rip Itachi's soul out is pretty bad news for the guy as well, since Impure World reincarnation fundamentally functions by trapping a person's soul inside of another person's body. So, I mean, it's common sense that having the soul ripped out would undo the jutsu. Yeah, you get the idea. But now, these next few fights, that's where things start to get interesting. So Itachi versus Dual Mangekyo Sharingan Obito, or DMS Obito as many people call it.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Obito still. Dual Mangekyo Sharingan Obito versus Itachi. Both alive. I think this is where he's going with right now. I'm going with Obito still.
This is a much more interesting battle than the last two because the two of them are now on a much more even playing field. Now, this isn't DMS Obito with his 6-path chakra, and I'm just going to assume that he can't use his perfect Susanoo here because if he could, Itachi would get shit on in seconds, and I really don't want another round of that happening. So let's just assume it's Obito with the ability to use Kamui from both eyes. He has full stamina, unlike the DMS Obito that we saw in the anime and
It's
the manga,
raps,
but he
bro.
just doesn't have access to his 6-paths powers or to the Rinnegan abilities that he had.
It's still
in
raps
previous
for me,
fights.
man.
Now this is a bit weird because the long-range Kamui that Kakashi has access to, it shouldn't be dismissed in this fight because it was able to affect the truth-seeking orbs on multiple occasions. Kakashi was able to teleport some of Madara's shield away in order to give Guy an opening to damage him, and he was also able to outright teleport some of the orbs while they were moving. And now I mentioned earlier in the video that the Yata Mirror's composition is very similar to that of the truth-seeking balls, so it might be possible for Obito to Kamui a hole through the Yata Mirror and fire some jutsu through it from a range. Now here's the thing, up against this Obito, I don't think Itachi is going to rely on his...
Here's what I also think, though. If Itachi starts putting things like the Totsuka blade where he, like, arrows it, or any sort of air, I think he's still going to be able to Kamui it away. Like when we saw Sasuke versus Sasuke versus Kakashi, Sasuke started pulling out the arrow with the imperfect Susanoo, and Kakashi was able to Kamui it away. Kamui it away.
His full body Susanoo too heavily because of how I assume it reduces his mobility. Itachi's never shown the ability to manifest legs from his Susanoo, and obviously having to worry about this gigantic ethereal exoskeleton makes it difficult to be nimble and agile. Now maybe his full body Susanoo doesn't hinder how much he can move, I'm not sure, but considering he wasn't constantly using it after being revived with Edo Tensei, I think that it's not too far-fetched. So assuming Itachi doesn't use his Susanoo, this would actually be a pretty cool fight to look at, but he wouldn't really be able to do much to Obito since Kamui sort of counters everything. And with the long-range Kamui that Kakashi uses added to his arsenal, Obito would be able to pretty easily snipe Itachi's head off, and Itachi, aware of this, would likely know that it's probably time to throw up his Susanoo to keep Obito from Kamuiing off any body parts. At that point, I imagine Obito just charging forward, phasing through the Yata Mirror, and sucking Itachi into the Kamui dimension. And that would be it for living Itachi, but Edo Itachi would sort of remain there forever, so he wouldn't win by killing Itachi, but it would count as a BFR, or battlefield removal. So he has a bit more trouble against Itachi here in this scenario, but I'm still gonna give the win to Obito. He does have possession of the 9-tailed fox, and also fights with its chains. Orange Mask Obito is like 17 years older, and has had a lot more time to practice using jutsu and whatnot. But just because of the tools that he has access to, I'm gonna back up to Yellow Mask Obito first, and save Orange Mask Obito for the end. Now let's split this round into 2 sub-rounds, with the 9-tails and without the 9-tails. With the 9-tails, Obito would be able to put way too much pressure on Itachi. He would be able to get right up to him, suck him into the Kamui.
God damn, this is insane. Basically, our answer is that Obito smacks Itachi, which is crazy because I thought so. I always thought so. And there are some videos, I think there's this one video where it's like, it's the Naruto movie where he gets sucked into Tsukiyomi. Tsukinomi Genjutsu alternate world, and it's an alternate world where Itachi and the Akatsuki are actually mercenaries, but they're not inherently evil, so they just get paid for hire, and Itachi ends up going up against Obito, and then Obito doesn't bother fighting. He's just like, oh, I'll leave, blah blah blah. Because I imagine when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, he didn't want to bother fighting. It makes total sense. Why would you want to waste a fight when you don't have to? Because we know Itachi's strong as fuck, but like, you don't want to have to waste your energy if you don't have to. And all the people in the comments are like, oh my god, Obito's scared, like, or Madara's scared, or Toby's scared, like, this is proof, like, yo, Itachi's better than him, like, yo, he can clap him any day. Like, no, bro, he just didn't want to waste a fight. Like, if you have the opportunity to bounce from a fight, you don't have to put any energy for whatever reason, because it's an alternate world, you won't do it. Like, if Minato's chilling in the Leaf Village and he has an option to fight, I don't know, the entire Akatsuki for no reason other than just let me fight him, he's not going to say to fight him, bro. He's just going to chill unless they're actually going against his village, or unless he's a threat, or if they want to be a threat to him. He's going to chill.
Dimension, and boom, it would be GG no Ri. Now, I don't want to be too dismissive of Itachi here. I don't want to make it seem like I'm completely ignoring what he'd be able to do in response, but that is exactly how...
Itachi's a goat, man. He's a beast, but he's getting clapped by Madara, Obito, Minato, Pain, Nagato, in my opinion. All of those. Trying to think. Everyone has the O at the end of their name. Who else could clap them? That's it for me. Hashirama, obviously. Yeah, that's it for me.
How the fight would go.
Kaguya would clap him. It's just the reason I'm saying this is because it's so funny how many people, and here some of you might go in the comment section, but if you disagree, obviously comment down below. A lot of people wank him off and they're like, oh, this dude could have beat Madara if they just let him continue in the war. Like, he would have been the one to end Madara. He can clap this, and this. Like, bro.
If Obito was able to react to Minato's attacks, then he'll certainly be able to do the same thing to Itachi's. And with the Nine Tails running around, possibly blasting off a couple Bijudama, Itachi will sort of be forced to throw up his full-body Susanoo in order to protect himself, because I don't think he'd be able to tank the explosion of a Biju bomb any other way. Obito would use this as an opening, slip right through the Yata mirror, suck Itachi into Kamui, and the fight would be over. Now, without the Nine Tails, this becomes a much more interesting battle, because Itachi wouldn't be forced to use his Susanoo right out of the gate, and he also wouldn't have to deal with the egregious amount of pressure created by the Nine Tails' presence there. And since this is a young Obito, Itachi might be able to catch him with a couple Genjutsu after a few Taijutsu exchanges, if not Izanami outright. This battle is a lot more up in the air. Itachi's
I don't know, man, because I'm assuming at this point he knows what Izanami's about. Izanagi, I should say, but let's say Itachi uses Izanagi, Obito uses Izanagi. Itachi uses Izanami, Obito might use Izanami too. They both go blind, boom, draw.
much harder target to catch. And on top of that, the presumable lack of experience that Obito has with Genjutsu here will leave him susceptible to Itachi's most powerful weapon, which leads me to believe that this fight could go either way. If Obito ends up falling for Itachi's Genjutsu, then Itachi probably takes this high difficulty. If not, though, Itachi doesn't really have any counters to Kamui, and he gets taken care of pretty handily by Obito with or without the Nine Tails. Obviously, Obito will have a much easier time against living Itachi than Edo Itachi, but I don't think the version of Itachi will make too much of a difference in this fight. The outcome remains the same either way. Whether Itachi fights as Edo or living, though, all that does is alter the difficulty. Now, finally, we come to Orange Mask Obito, and while he doesn't have the Nine Tails or the chains on him, neither of those really made a difference in the fight against Itachi to begin with, because Obito wouldn't need to use his chains against Itachi, right? Like, as soon as he closes in on him to begin with, he'll manage to suck him into Kamui, and that'll be that. Edo was able to control the fourth Mizukage, a perfect Jinchuriki, using Genjutsu. He'd be able to resist all of Itachi's attempts at casting Genjutsu on him here. Now, I know what a lot of people are saying. Oh, but SWAGKAGE, Obito was scared of Itachi. He said after Itachi died that the leaf was no longer off limits and that he could go attack him. Well, you think he wanted Itachi to fucking leave the Akatsuki? No, of course not. He was a very valuable asset to the...
This is why I love SWAGKAGE, man. He is his sarcasm, bro. He's gold.
Team. And why take that unnecessary risk anyway? He knew Itachi was going to die eventually, that it was going to be part of a planned battle with Sasuke, which he planned to take advantage of in order to get Sasuke to join the Akatsuki in Itachi's place. It just doesn't make any sense for him to take a risk he doesn't need to when he knew Itachi was going to die to begin with. Sure,
that's the thing I was looking for earlier when I was talking about him leaving the fight versus Itachi in that alternate world in the movie. He doesn't need to take a risk if he doesn't have to. It's not worth it.
Maybe he was a little uncertain about fighting the guy, but that doesn't mean he thought Itachi was stronger than him. There were a whole lot of bad things that could have happened if Obito attacked the leaf before Itachi's death. So now that we've got that out of the way, that Obito's statement does not mean he is scared of Itachi because he's stronger than him or whatever, let's talk about the actual fight. So basically, Itachi's physical attacks, as in every single one of these rounds, will have absolutely no effect on Obito unless he can find a way to outlast the 5-minute time limit. And even then, I'm pretty sure that that 5-minute time limit is only strictly speaking consecutively. Like, if Obito takes a break from phasing through attacks for even a fraction of a second, then this timer should reset, as I know that the battle against Naruto, Bee, Guy, and Kakashi took way longer than 5 minutes, and Obito was able to phase through all of their attacks right up until the very end. So it's not like he has to beat Itachi within 5 minutes or anything like that.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's longer than 5 minutes, because we got to remember, I mean, it could have been actually 5 minutes, because we got to remember that in anime, there would be like 6 episodes. How long has gone by? 45 minutes in 6 episodes. It's wild. The time difference is crazy.
like that. Let's make that clear. Meaning that, again, Itachi has no chance to land any physical attacks on him whatsoever. The only part of Itachi's arsenal capable of dealing with an intangible enemy like this would be Genjutsu, and I've already explained why Genjutsu is ineffective against Obito, so I can't really see any way that he comes out on top here. Obito already has way too much intel on Itachi for anything he tries to be effective, including Izanami, so I think I'm gonna have to give Orange Mask Obito the win as well. So in conclusion, Itachi wins maybe one round, depending on Yellow Mask Obito's resistance to Genjutsu, and Obito wins all of the rest.
So that's pretty much it. I mean, I already knew Obito was stronger, but it's good to see this video and hear SWAGKAGE's thoughts. Jeez. Alright, let's check the comments, see what people have to say. This is always the best part. Oh, yo, I have seen this video. What do you fucking know? Bro, I've seen the video. Oh my god. Look at that, bro. I can't believe it. I honestly don't remember watching this video at all. Oh my god. Yo, look, I'm the first fucking comment. Well, obviously I'm the first comment because if I comment... Dude, this just proves to you I'm a huge SWAGKAGE fan. I've been watching him since like many years. Bro... Whatever, man. I was still gonna upload the reaction because yeah, I mean, it's good to revisit. It's good to rewatch things and good to remember to learn more and just keep thinking about the subject. Okay, and what I say, y'all sleeping on my girl, you know, she'd clap all of them. Yo, I was a troll back then. Alright, let's look at the comments. Obito was defeated by a rock. Itachi was defeated by a wall. Obito without Rinnegan saw Kabuto reanimate previous Akatsuki, including Ero Itachi, and still give those shits. I mean, yeah, that was pretty crazy. Don't let this distract you from the fact that Sakura tried to kill 6 past Madara. I love Itachi, but he is by far my favorite character. But people need to learn that Itachi can't kill every other character. On God, bro. This guy's on point. Itachi fanboys will literally say he would clap Momoshiki. What it took to kill Obito. Ochidori to the heart, getting a jubi ripped out of him using Rinne Tensei, and taking a bone that disintegrates you on impact from Kaguya. What it took to kill Itachi. Ninja AIDS. Enough said. Itachi loses every round, man. We get it. Sperm Obito can defeat Prime Itachi. Ooh, the womb Obito can beat Prime Itachi. Sperm Obito can beat Prime Itachi. Weird that Madara didn't win this one. The ongoing joke. But yo, okay, I'm still quiet about. Let's see what people reply to. Low key. Oh, okay, no. So I didn't watch this video. Never mind. You can see the people are replying to me. Okay, that's why I don't remember it. I was like, what? That's why I don't remember it. So this was my former YouTube channel. This is what the thing was before I even started the channel. And this was what basically we used for like the family, because I had YouTube Red on it. I still have YouTube Red, but we didn't have ads, I don't think. So basically we let the family watch it, and I'm pretty sure like a family cousin or whatever probably saw this video, because I swear I don't remember anything about this video. I just know that Obito claps. But yeah, this was my old YouTube thing before the YouTube channel started, because I think I started the YouTube channel in like March. Anyways, yeah, this was my old username, and I would watch, or I would have family watch random videos. It'd be from like Mexican music to cooking to how to take care of your hamsters to Naruto, but I wasn't the only one who saw Naruto, so there's probably some videos from SWAGKAGE that have been commented on, watched, or whatever. Anyways, that's it for the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, trigger those bells, and let me know what you thought of the reaction. Peace.